These are all 4 producer challenges for the month of January. Let's get started.
Flying too fast, I couldn't catch it.
Here we go.
Like a bullet.
Okay, so this is kind of giving like K-pop version of Jolene. It seemed a bit more similar to Game Boy than Gnarly. Kind of feels, just from the vocals, more in the pop R&B direction. I don't know if I want to stay with that direction or do something like completely different. Gonna just see what naturally comes to me. I'm gonna try to start on the hook. Maybe just lay down some basic drums. Find some hi-hats.
Hands off, Gabriela. Gabriela, hands off, Gabriela.
Okay, let's find a bass to put in here. I downloaded a new pack today, so let's see what's in here. I think I have the bass laid out and definitely need something in the hook to kind of lift it. I filtered the highs out in the verses, so that kind of helps it build. But then when it comes in with the hook, I feel like it needs something else to make it a bit bigger. So I'm going to try and find either a pad or this kind of plucky element, maybe both, to put in that section. Okay, I feel like this could work. So I'm going to add some effects to this just to make it more interesting. I feel like maybe we need a clap in that hook section. I want to add maybe some kind of pluck thing that'll be in the verses.
Skin on a riddle. I bet you taste just like the summer under the cover. Me in the middle.
Okay, something like that. I feel like the drums need a bit of a filter here.
Like, ooh, you got everybody's eyes and just you. Like a bullet, flying too fast, I couldn't catch it. Hard in the casket.
Some of the timing in this is a little bit weird, but I'm kind of just going with it at the moment. But I am aware that the timing is weird. I think this just needs effects at this point, so let's find some of those. Okay, I'm gonna say this is done. Honestly, I don't know if I love this. Some of the timing in the vocal feels a bit weird, just in trying to understand what's happening without any instrumental reference to it. So I'm not sure I totally nailed that placement, especially like in the verses or in the B part of the hook. There's that part that goes like, ooh. There's that part. I feel like that comes in a weird spot, but I feel like maybe I'm just not able to understand that timing in this context without the instrumental. So I'm sure when I hear the original version, that's probably going to make more sense. But anyways, regardless, let's listen to what I came up with and you can let me know what you think in the comments. All right, here we go.
couldn't catch it. Heart in the casket. You always knew it. The starting role, the main attraction. Got cameras flashing like ooh. You got everybody's eyes and just you. And I see it too. Yeah, ooh. You can have anyone else you wanted to. I'm begging you. Hands up, Gabriela. Gabriela, hands up, Gabriela. Back off from my fella. Gabriela, back off, Gabriela. 'Cause you can have anyone else you wanted to. I'm begging you. Hands off, Gabriela. Gabriela, hands off, Gabriela. La la la. Skin on red, I bet you taste just like the summer under the cover. Me in the middle, overprotective of my lover. You made me wanting, like ooh. If you made all of these fantasies come true, what would you do? Yeah, ooh. You can have anyone else you wanted to, but I'm begging you. Hands up, Gabriela. Gabriela, hands up, Gabriela. Back off from my fella. Gabriela, back off, Gabriela. 'Cause you can have anyone else you wanted to. I'm begging you. Hands off, Gabriela. Gabriela, hands off, Gabriela. La la la. La la la. Él llegó conmigo se va. Sus ojos son míos, eso no va a cambiar. Me quiere a mí, no importa lo demás. No, 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 no. Él llegó conmigo se va. Sus ojos son míos, eso no va a cambiar. Me quiere a mí, no importa lo demás. No, 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 no. Hands up, Gabriela. Gabriela, hands up, Gabriela. Back off from my fella. Gabriela, back off, Gabriela. 'Cause you can have anyone else you wanted to. I'm begging you. Hands off, Gabriela. Gabriela, hands off, Gabriela. La la la. The day that I met you, I started dreaming.
Okay, it's definitely very indie pop vibes. Feels like I've heard that airy, floaty vocal. It's very soft and a lot of nice harmonies going on in that hookier section. Some interesting rhythms too in the vocal melody and the verses. My guess is that it will be a bit more of like an acoustic-y feeling to the original track, just based on how the vocal sounds. I'm gonna go, I think, a bit more dark pop electronic direction. We'll see how that goes. That could change, but I think I will start with a pad. I want to get that chord progression down first, and that'll kind of help me figure out where I want to take things. And I think I'll start in this hook section here. Let's find a good synth for this.
Give you everything that heaven wants. Tell me what you wanna know. Give you everything that heaven wants.
I think I want something a little bit less plucky, but maybe I can just alter this preset.
Baby, tell me what you wanna know.
Right now it's very soft sounding, but I think when I put a bass in, I can start to give it a bit more body and some of that dark edge. I'm hearing kind of like an arpeggiated bass line, almost a bit Robyn-y. So let's find a sound for that. I think something a bit analog-ish. I need something here in the sub. Yes. This That's a good starting point. I'm going to bring this chord progression up here, and we're going to bring it down quite a bit. I want to change the pattern a little bit here. I'll filter this bass in and out. I think I'm going to put some drums in just to get a bit more movement and drive in here. Let me grab a snare also.
Baby, tell me where you wanna go.
Put this stomp in here. Just get some hi-hats. Okay, just lay these out. Kind of like this, I think. Then put a bit of one knob pumper on this, for a little bit more groove. Okay, then I'll put a bit of FX EQ just to fatten up the drums.
Where you wanna go. The day that I met you, I started dreaming.
I like this bass in here in the verses, but I want to change the chord progression. So do something kind of similar, but let's just use these keys quickly to figure out what they should be.
The day that I met you, I started dreaming.
Okay, I think this chord progression works.
In the morning time.
It's kind of a weird chord, but I think it's a nice switch up maybe. And I'm going to put this into my bass preset here. Hopefully this sounds good, but let's lower it.
But I like the sound it makes.
Let me repeat this.
When it starts pouring rain. I think that tonight I'll leave my light on.
See if we can just do that again in the next hook.
He said, baby, that's what he called me. I love you.
Now that I have these parts laid out, I think I'm going to do some filtering on the bass and on those keys. I think this track's going to rely a lot more on that for dynamics and the variation between the different sections instead of having a bunch of different parts. I'm thinking the synth I'll just filter down in the second verse.
I love you.
Okay, then let's get to the bass. It's going to be a little bit more complicated. Just find the section where I'm filtering out most of the high end, which will be in the verses.
He said, baby, that's what he called me. I love you.
Okay, so I know it's going to come back in the hook. So we'll just get that part out of the way.
Remember in the morning time.
Something is going to happen here.
Much about Kingston. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Last thing I want to add synth-wise is maybe just a little pluck type thing to add some little embellishments in the verses. Nothing super complicated.
I get lonely when it's out, and I miss you right about now.
Okay, something like this can work. Just a little something. I think this just needs some effects to spice it up a little bit, and then it should be done. Let's put a few things in. I don't think it needs to be anything too crazy. This can go into the hook. And use this in the middle of the verse when the extra percussion comes in. Maybe we need an impact. Do that on the hook. That comes in. I feel like that might... All right, I think this is done. This was a fun one to make. It was a little bit different than what I normally do. Let's take a listen. Let me know what you think in the comments. Here we go.
The day that I met you, I started dreaming. Now I write them down if I remember in the morning time. I don't know that much about Kingston, but I like the sound it makes when it starts pouring rain. I think that tonight I'll leave my light on, 'cause I get lonely when it's out, and I miss you right about now. Baby, tell me where you wanna go. Baby, tell me what you wanna know. Give you everything I have and more. He said, baby, that's what he called me. I love you. And every single word you say makes me feel some type of way. It's the thought of you that slightly scares me, but it takes my breath away. Forget what I was gonna say. The day that I met you, I started dreaming. Now I write them down if I remember in the morning time. Baby, tell me where you wanna go. Baby, tell me what you wanna know. Give you everything I have and more. Baby, tell me where you wanna go. Baby, tell me what you wanna know. Give you everything I have and more. Baby, tell me where you wanna go. Baby, tell me what you wanna know. These days, taking but it's holding me back.
Kind of reminds me of a mix between Demi Lovato and Ariana Grande, with like those softer notes, but then the really big notes in the chorus. Loved all of the choir vocals, those harmonies and everything. Very cool. So I definitely think there's a lot to work with here. I'm gonna jump right in, I think, with the bass line. So let's see what I have in Serum. I'll just drop a kick in here. I like to use that over the actual click. Kind of think I want to respace for this. I feel like there's so much happening in the vocals that I don't want to overshadow that. So I think something with not too much movement, but just anchors the chord progression. Okay, I think that's it. Let's try to figure out the rest of these drums. Now that I have that bass line in. I'm gonna layer that with this one. Then we need a clap. Okay, so I'm gonna use this bass in the verses, but I think I'll filter it a little bit. Not that there's a lot of high end in this, but
I'm slipping into habits so bad.
and then we'll filter that back in. And then I'll filter these hats in that pre.
But it's not bad enough to let my baby go.
We need like some kind of synth to go through in these verses.
Let her talk a big game, but nothing ever changes its way these days.
Something like this, I think. I'm going to use these keys in the pre and then filter them in as well going into the hook. Just need something else in the high end, like a pluck or something like that. This little thing works nicely. Then maybe we can use this in the bridge because I'm a bit unsure of what to put in there. The last thing I want to do is use this same chord progression in a different inversion in the hook in another pad, just to add another layer a little bit higher because I still feel like it's a bit dark. If we put it up an octave and just move the lower notes to the top, I'd find a good sound to fit that in with. Get brighter. All right, I think my version's done, so let's take a listen. Let me know what you think in the comments. All right, here we go.
Taking but it's holding me back, and I feel kind of bad about that, but I don't wanna be alone. No, I don't wanna be alone. I'm slipping into habits so bad, and if you take a look in my past, I don't know how to be alone. I don't know how to be alone. I know that it seems easy, but I like that he needs me. My friends all say my standards are too low, but it's not bad enough to let my baby go. Go, go, go. It's not bad enough to let my baby go. Go, go, go. It's not bad enough to let him
take a listen to what we're working with. Okay, cool. It definitely feels like it has the structure of a dance track in the writing style, and that's kind of minimal lyrically. There's a lot of the like repeated hook lines, which I think leaves it open to a lot of different production styles. So I think this will be a good one to use to try and switch it up from typical Robyn direction. Robyn's music has always been a big influence on me as an artist and producer, so it might be kind of hard to stray from that direction. We'll see. So if it comes out as a typical Robyn song, let me live. But let's just dive into it. I think we can kind of use that Talk to Me hook as a starting point since it's so open. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to put a kick in just to start as a little bit of foundation. And put a snare in. Let's find a bass. See what I can find in Serum. Okay, let's try this little pre-section. Sometimes I need an audience. Feel like I'm making sense. I'm trying to decide if I should have this bass in the verses as well. Maybe I'll make a part for that and then see if I want to leave it in or not. Your love impressed is all I need. So baby, tell me how you want it. So I have the whole bass line worked out. I'm going to add a little bit more into the drums, I think, next. I don't want to make them too complicated, but I'm definitely going to add a hi-hat in that hook section. I think I'll put a clap in the hook just to amp that section up a bit. Okay, we need something else in the high end. Okay, something like that. Try a little bit of tremolator on this. Okay, so that'll just move a little bit throughout the hook, and then I'm going to put one knob pumper just to give it a little bit more sidechaining effect, pretty lightly. Okay, I'll move this here. I'm going to do a little bit of filtering on this bass line. And maybe I'll put this pad in the pre also, but filter it in just to give a little bit of a build up out of the pre. Let's see. Okay, and then I'm going to put this just as a little thing here. I feel like it needs one more element in the high end, a little bit of movement, maybe a pluck. Okay, so we're going to do the same melody that's in the hook, in the bass line, on this little pluck. Okay, then I'll try with some pan band on this to make it a bit wider. Then let's just put a filter on that first, on the intro. Okay, I think this just needs some effects and then it will be done. So I know I want a riser in the intro. That could be interesting. Okay, and then some impacts. Let's go with this. Do I put a siren in? Maybe that in the pre. A little reverse snare. All right, my version is done. I tried to go a bit more house than pop to kind of take it away from where I would expect Robyn to normally go. I don't know if it's necessarily that like non-Robyn, but whatever. Let's take a listen to my version and let me know what you think in the comments. All right, here we go. Those were all 4 producer challenges from January back to back. If you enjoyed this mega episode, I post new episodes of this series every Wednesday, so make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll put a link to the playlist below in case you want to check out any of the ones I've done up until now. All right, thanks for watching and see you next time.